Now this is the first checkpoint on our way to Big Bend National Park. And now if you notice that dog, I don't care how trained those dogs are for drug sniffing, they know where the poop hose is on an RV. Now if you're planning a trip to Big Bend National Forest in Texas, you might want to stop, if you're coming from the east traveling west, stop at this next park called Seminole Canyon State Park. It's about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive before you get to Big Bend yet, but it's a great park. It's got the Pecos River. There's a lot of history about this area. And Seminole Canyon has a lot of hiking trails that you can actually ride your bikes on also. That'll take you down to the Rio Grande. And I showed you some of that in our last video. I'll put a link in the description below. This is the State Park Road heading to the campground. And I have a couple suggestions to know about before you get to your camp spot. There are 2 sites here. One is for primitive and the other is full service. Off to the left there, where we'll be camping, is primitive, meaning no electricity or water. But when you get here, take off to the right where the arrow's pointing, because they have water spigots up there. And all you do is turn right here on this road. This is the circle through the campground. This is up on the hill, by the way. And there's water spigots in between each site. And all you have to do is stop at any one of them and fill up your RV before heading to the primitive site. The primitive area is very nice. The sites are large, there's lots of room. We were here at the end of February and the weather was perfect. It's a good idea to have a solar panel for your batteries and a cell phone booster if you've got one, because there's no cell phone service here. And the closest town is 34 miles away where they do have internet, so if you need it, that's where you have to go. Now over here on the primitive area, that's right next to the trails also. The trail out here goes right to the Rio Grande. It's a 7-mile trail, but you can go down by the canyon. You can go up to the check-in station, and they actually give tours as well to go down and see the pictographs down in the canyon. We did not see any animals out here while we were here. A couple birds here and there, and we were too early for the cactus to be blooming. But the trade-off is the temperatures were in the 70s and 80s, so that was perfect for camping when you don't have electricity or water. Now the other thing we found unusual, and I never did find out what these are, but there's a lot of these little white shells all over the place. You can find dozens of them. They're just filled with dirt. They're all different sizes. Plus we found this rock, which could be an arrowhead, just because of the ridges on the side. But if anybody knows what these shells are and why they're up here, we never did get around to asking up at the office what they were for. Even the teeniest. So overall, we really like this campground and we highly recommend it. And it's a great place to stop if you're planning a trip to Big Bend National Park, because it's on the way if you're heading west. But make sure you call at this park because if you can't get a reservation online, they do have an overflow area, and it's right on the rim of the canyon. Most of southern Texas is known for dark sky area. So coming up next, I've got some time lapse with beautiful sunsets, a few photos of the Milky Way that I took here in this park, and we had one little rainstorm where a beautiful rainbow occurred. So I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope to see you next time on Adventures Outdoors.